Royal Caribbean had to divert 2 ships to Bermuda, and well, their earnings are way up for the first quarter. Let's talk about it. What's going on, Adventure Fam? Hope you're doing well. Hope everybody's having a blessed day and a blessed week. It is Thursday. It's almost Friday, so just hang on just a little bit longer. It's been a great week for us so far. We got some fun things planned for the weekend, and we can't wait for it. However, before we jump into the 2 stories of the day, which has to do with Royal Caribbean on both stories, I want to invite you guys all to subscribe and become part of the Adventure Fam. Make me happy. Hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bells, and drop a like for the video if you love news. And so without further ado, let's jump into story number 1, which has to do with Royal Caribbean and 2 of their ships having to divert back to Bermuda due to some medical emergencies. Now, you've all heard the saying that things happen in threes, and while there's no scientific evidence to prove that that is in fact the case, this happened to be the case for Royal Caribbean when 2 ships had to go and be diverted to Bermuda on the very same day due to 3 separate medical emergencies. So the 2 ships that had to be diverted are the Odyssey and the Oasis of the Seas. So Odyssey of the Seas and Oasis of the Seas both had to be diverted back to Bermuda. In the case of the Odyssey of the Seas, there was 2 medical emergencies on board, and in the case of the Oasis of the Seas, there was 1 medical emergency. We're going to cover all 3 right now very briefly, so stay tuned and buckle up. Now let's first talk about the Odyssey of the Seas, which had to be diverted back to Bermuda's east end. Now the first incident happened on April 23rd around 7 p.m., with the second incident happening around 5 a.m. on April 24th. Now the first incident happened when an Indonesian crew member needed more medical care than the onboard doctor and team can provide. No information regarding the crew member is available other than the fact that he was 31 years old. Now the second incident occurred when a 74-year-old passenger started to feel ill, and when that 74-year-old passenger couldn't get any better and he started to get worse, they determined that he too needed to be diverted back to Bermuda to receive his medical care. Now the crew member was safely transferred to Ordnance Island by way of a rescue and pilot boat in St. George's Harbor. Now not long after the crew member was transferred, the Odyssey of the Seas went back out to sea. However, later that night, a 74-year-old Belgian passenger started to feel bad. Things got worse, and the captain felt it was best to get him back to Bermuda, so they turned the ship around once again, went over to Bermuda's far east end again, and transported the 74-year-old passenger off of the ship so they can get medical attention at the local hospital. Now, the current condition of the 2 individuals was unknown at the time that the story was published. However, hopefully they are okay now. We'll keep abreast on the tabs of the 2 passengers, but to my understanding that the Odyssey of the Seas has returned back out to sea. Now, there is no further indication of how this affected the sailing, but just be thankful that the ship was close enough to Bermuda to be able to get them offloaded to a hospital with further care without having to do emergency evacuations off of the ship. Now let's jump into story number 2, which has to do with Royal Caribbean blowing away their first quarter projections. Their first quarter financials were just released, and to say they were successful would be an understatement. Royal Caribbean has done a fantastic job, and cruising is fully back, and they are on pace for a record-breaking year in 2024. We're going to go over a few of the numbers. We're not going to get deep into the details, but we'll go over a few of the numbers and just talk about maybe why this occurred and how they're going to continue to sustain this success. Now, it's no surprise that with the ships and experiences that Royal Caribbean is offering right now, like the Icon of the Seas, which launched in January, they got the Utopia of the Seas coming out this summer, they've got another Oasis class ship underway, they got the Silver Sea, they got the new private island destinations. It is no surprise that Royal Caribbean has blown away their first quarter projections and that bookings have skyrocketed for the cruise line. Now, Jason Liberty, the president and CEO of the Royal Caribbean Group, has said that it is all of these different offerings and the high demand for the cruising that has blown these first quarter projections away. It has allowed them to not only supersede their first quarter projections, but also make some adjustments to what their year end is going to look like. And it looks like they might be 60% growth year over year. And look, they are having massive success at Royal Caribbean, despite some of the prices being some of the highest we've seen. People are still booking in droves and they are enjoying their experience. It is said that 1 out of every 2 passengers on a Royal Caribbean ship right now is a millennial, which means younger generations are starting to cruise and see the value of that, which is just driving the demand and the pricing and revenue and everything else up and to the right, which is exactly what you want to see if you own a business. And if you believe in capitalism, and if you believe in that business should be able to make as much money as they can, then Royal Caribbean is at the top of this group when it comes to being able to generate the demand when it comes to a type of vacation that people are looking for. Now, with all that being said, we love Royal Caribbean. We have sailed them many a times and we will continue to do it. We've always had a great experience, but let's go over some of the numbers, such as the revenue. Now, as far as revenue is concerned, they posted a revenue of $3.73 billion, which is above and beyond the $3.69 billion that they had projected for Q1. They also saw ship occupancy up 107%. Now, a lot of that has to do with the icon of the seas and the generation and the demand for that ship. And look, they built these ships larger to hold more passengers, which equates to a higher occupancy as well. Now, the ones that are really excited are the investors and those shareholders of Royal Caribbean Group. Now, they were expected to see anywhere between $9.90 and $10.10, where in reality they are seeing somewhere between $10.70 and $10.90 per share. Now, between their three cruise lines, which is Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, and Silversea, they saw just over 2 million passengers in the first quarter alone, which is a 14% increase over the same time period in 2023. Now, with all that being said, it is undeniable that Royal Caribbean and their leadership group know what they are doing. They know what customers want. They know what families need when it comes to cruising. They have done a fantastic job with all of their ships, refurbishing their older ones to make sure that they still remain in the fleet, but they still stay up to date to where people want to book them. They're doing a fantastic job. So congratulations to Royal Caribbean Group. They are doing a fantastic job, and it looks like they're going to have a record-breaking year in 2024 because cruising is not going anywhere and the demand is only getting stronger and higher. And so kudos, golf clap to Royal Caribbean Group. That's going to do it for us today. Now, before I go, if you see this Band-Aid, it's because I hit my head today I was doing my bike ride, doing my training in the garage, and look, I went down to grab my camera, and I've got a metal clamp in my garage, and when I went down, bumped the old noggin on the clamp, and it hurt like a mother. It hurt so bad. But I'm good. I got a Band-Aid on here, so I'll be okay. So don't send me any good well wishes, and I don't need cards and flowers and all that. Okay, I'll be okay. So that's gonna do it for the video today. I appreciate all the support you guys are giving us and all the love. If you're not part of the Adventure Fam, you're missing out. You got to join the group. We're a fun group of people. I'm a little biased, but look. We like to share our life with you, share the news, and share the travels with you, and we want you to be a part of that. So, subscribe, drop a like if you love this kind of information, and turn on the notification bell so you know when we post. But it's going to do it for me today. Hope you're doing well. Go out there, have a blessed rest of your Thursday, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.